All right, I thought I'd make a quick update on the progress of my Copilot, which will eventually, well, it has the Python link to it. It's actually uh, 5 years of data has been downloaded. And so basically, we're at the stage where the script is in the final stages. And at least in almost 5 years, I mean, it's gone over 2 million rows of data have been processed and cleaned and are in the final validation is underway. And then the rest of it is I've been feeding it hundreds of screenshots, uh, pouring every little bit of Gann logic I can think of, the good, the bad, when it fails, what to look for. It has all the A plus setups. And so, yeah, the goal is it to just really dominate NQ during the cash. Now, you can see it really wasn't meant to be traded with other assets, but it does have some universal principles that I think work. As you can see, this isn't like a typical EMA. I mean, it's called the Kalman filter, so it has maybe a little less lag, but it's called a zero lag understanding of the immediate trend direction. So maybe it's a little quicker, but either way, that's like not the most powerful thing. Anyone can put that on there. It does in the logic have some VWAP volatility aspect to it, and then there's also a volume momentum calculations and other math involved. And then once we get all the data funneled into the signals, it's going to change from this like correlation score to a probability score. So it's going to look over the last 5 years, 10,000 trades for, so say, like if it does if it prints like, let's say 80%, it's like looking over 10,000 times that pattern has showed up. And so it will actually change the TP and the stop loss based on the signal. So during, let's say, if you're taking, a few minutes into the cash open, the stop loss might be, or in that, and also the TP will be smaller. When things have kind of smoothed out, you might jump from a TP from 20 to 40. And really the goal is to take 2 or 3 trades a day, and you do the math. If let's just say it is 80% right, if you're taking 10 trades a week, that's right. And then let's say you have 8 losers, you have 2 losers. I did the math like on like one contract. It's almost like 20. I mean, it's just rounding up or rounding either way, rounding up or down. It's like 2,500 a week on one contract, assuming that the bot is 80%. So we'll see. I mean, we got some testing. A lot of you might even can do better than that trading in Q. So the nice thing again about this is, I think for people like myself included, passing an eval to me is like weekend golf. I'm not saying that you don't have some trip ups and it doesn't always go great, but in general, passing an eval is not a problem, right? The problem that comes to play was when it's live, and that's like the PGA Tour, right? One shot can destroy a round, can destroy the tournament for in some cases. You can just spiral. Like we've seen that with Jordan Spieth, even McIlroy before he won the Masters. I forget, it was like 10 years ago. He had a lead in the Masters. I don't know if it was on the final day, but either way, he could have had the Grand Slam a while ago. But, and again, I'm not comparing myself to the greatest golfers in the world. I'm just saying and you know the analogy. I mean, when you're trading real, we all know it. The P&L's flying around, motions, hijack our, I guess our smart brain, So really, I know, I guess after all these, this time of trading, I've had a lot of success. I mean, actually, I'm up in my funded account by a large amount, but always looking, okay, not chasing the next thing. I know trading near Gann lines is the best. That's where I want to be. Now, I don't always know how far it's going to go, and then sometimes it goes against me, but I know there is an edge, right? And there's an edge trading at Gann lines. Now, the best thing is, the thing now is, okay, making the best decisions. So that's really why I'm paying for this data, and it's not going to be cheap, but I'm not complaining about that. It's going to be 200 plus a month, that right, to get the raw data, and that's just the cost, right? And that's actually pretty cheap. We all know that I can't imagine what the big banks are paying for what they're doing, right? But they're doing a lot of high frequency trading, and yeah, they have models that, right? They probably have teams of people that have PhDs and with all their bots. So yeah, and that's not the competition, right? I mean, that's another area. But if you're looking at like what does a typical like a typical retail trader use? I don't know. I don't know what the ratio is, but I would say majority are using some type of lagging indicator, a MACD, RSI, or whatever. And as you evolve, you get into, other things like support, resistance, and fair value gaps, and smart money concepts. I mean, right? It goes on. There's endless things. So, in like my journey, as you know, led me when I was in the blue sky trading room learning about Gann. I'm like, geez, the price stops on a tick here. Really? Are you kidding me? So again, it's just time and price. I mean, it's nothing magical, right? But it's something that happens over and over again. And so for me, I want to be that consistent, right? Stop chasing. Again, I'm kind of an indicator junkie, and really this has forced me to turn more internally, just because a lot of the success. And actually, I have to give a lot of credit to King. He might not even hear this, but was it a couple weeks ago? I just started noticing that, because we have our Discord, and he's pretty consistent. He may not be every day, but he's overall one of the most consistent contributors in our Discord community. And he might, have a losing day here and there, but he puts the screenshots in of his process and over, Gann level, delta, or break, retest, whatever. Like, it is just consistent. He's not chasing the latest indicator that I created. And I'm like, geez, what am I doing? Like, I love creating indicators because, during the afternoon there's some downtime, and, it's always fun to chase the next best thing. But man, I mean, I was just looking back at my journal and some things, and I've had a lot of success boiling it down to, again, what I've done before, countless times, just a good level with confirmation. So that's why I created the King indicator, which is going to get better because I'm going to integrate Pine, or I'm going to integrate the data with that, with the what I was saying, the Python. Sorry, geez. Anyway, so I'm going to have 4 or 5 indicators with the Python integration, and I've actually already mapped it out. We this first Copilot is the first set. It's kind of like building the skyscraper, right? The next indicator is, and I already have it built. It doesn't have the Python in it yet, but it's going to be, it's like a fair market value kind of indicator. Gives you really good levels. I don't think I have it here. I don't know, not this one, but anyway. So we're gonna have the signals. We're gonna have that, and then there's actually 2 other ones, and I actually forget that they're already mapped out, that will be perfectly combined. Now it's gonna be a few months, because even the logic to turn this indicator from, again, the correlation to the probabilities is going to be a few weeks, hopefully sooner. And again, not that this isn't great. I mean, it's not. This is just Bitcoin, right? So if you look at, and it's short term, like you can't really back test this because it's kind of by the moment. It'd be nice to back test it, but you can only forward test it because it only goes back so much. But as you can see, I mean, you had some pretty good buy signals on Bitcoin earlier, a couple of ones that didn't work, and then a couple of the ones that did okay, and then all of a sudden it tipped over, and then look at that. I mean, just awesome. So, maybe one day I'll trade Bitcoin, but I'm happy with the futures. I don't really love the spread on the spot spread on Bitcoin, but maybe one day it'll be good. But in either case, it's just fun to be on this journey and to actually. I didn't honestly think I would ever be able to have a Python based indicator. I couldn't without AI. It'd be impossible. So I mean, I can't take any credit. Just the only credit I have is just being relentless with it, because I can't code to save my life. So I just I keep pouring over what I want to see, and it sometimes it redirects me, and I'm like, no, I'm gotta stay on this course, and then it's like it finally kind of gives in, or so I don't quite get that part. It's like, why does it just give me the answer right from the start? Why do I have to keep working for it? But either case, I have to go through, as you can see, right, even over here on the left of me, I go through so many different types of iterations to get what I want. Infusing things. I'm constantly. It's like, right. Once I get some code, another code, then I just start, going like a mad scientist, trying to get something that works. Um, but yeah, then it's cool to see after all the failures, something come together like this. I mean, this Copilot isn't something I even thought about, 2 weeks ago. It's just sheer will of like, okay, how do we make this work? And yeah, I had great success trading it this week. It was a blast, and I only did it for a couple of days. So um, anyway, just get a little update, weekend update on where we're at with this awesome journey. And yeah, appreciate all the support. A bunch of people bought me coffee on Friday. That was pretty awesome. And yeah, again, thanks to our awesome Discord community and everyone involved in this crazy journey. Yeah, again, we're just getting started with this, right? So I really think the next few weeks and then beyond is just right. It's going to be amazing. So, I'm sure a lot of people doubt that, and right, nothing's 100% until it's proven, right? So at least I'm trying to do something kind of well beyond probably my ability, but luckily with again with AI, you have a coder in your back pocket per se, kind of walking you through it. There's some pain points, of course. It's not easy. You still have to. It can't necessarily do it for you, but it can kind of spell it out, and then you just have to go through it. And a lot of times the directions are wrong, and then you go back. And anyways, I don't know if you guys ever work with AI. It's good and bad, right? Not that it lies to you, but sometimes it's like it's weird as the balance of it. It's like it's obviously incredibly smart, but then it's sometimes kind of stupid too, if it makes sense. But I have to say though, using the past couple of years for where it was, I mean, it's almost scary how good it's getting. I mean, right? We all see that. Like, duh, tell me something I don't know. That's what I'm best at. So anyway, but I'll probably cut this off, and looking forward to trading live or giving more videos. And oh yeah, the biggest thing, just because I've put so much energy into this, I honestly, and this is by the fact that I don't care. Right now, it's $47 a month for my indicators. When this is done, it will be $99 a month. So 2 or 3 weeks. Now again, if no one else signs up, that is honestly fine by me. I've actually thought about shutting this down because I've put so much energy into this that it's like, how it is, like you put something out there and someone will treat it just binary. Oh, well, that signal I lost. I'm like, well, you know what? It's a game of probabilities that you're not going to win every trade. It's not like that, right? This isn't like a turnkey type of thing. I've had a lot of success with Gann, with confirmation, trading that day in, day out. And so I'm just getting back to that root thing and then programming it so that it's not really automated, but it gives us a crystal picture co-pilot so that when you're live and you're not, trying to pass an eval in one day, like, like a demon, like a degenerate. I'm not saying, like there's times to do that with these firms. You just want to get the funding, but we all know that does not work in funding. You cannot go, all out on the trade. Well, if you do and you get lucky, fine, but you need, the math's there. I've tried it. It doesn't work. You'll get burned. So you need something that you can rely on when that pressure valve is there. When you're sweating, right? Because it's real, right? Evals are kind of like playground, weekend golf. Real money is way different. And not that evals aren't real too. I mean, you're putting some money down, but it's pretty easy to reset them for the most part, depending on the ones that you go with, especially with Apex or some cheap thing. If you go with a decent firm, you can actually burn through some serious cash just doing that eval cycle. And that's the other thing. So if you're in that, definitely stop that. Because I definitely have a lot of traders that talk to me and like, oh man, if I could just pass an eval, well then I'll be good live. I'm like, well, geez, I don't like want to burst their balloon, but like live is way tougher. So like if they think an eval is tough, wait till they get that live account. And I think fine in a live account if you're ahead, right? You're doing well. The hard part with that live account is when you get down a little bit and forcing yourself to just chip away, reduce your size, reduce your risk. It's hard you just want it back, right? It's like you want that pain gone. At least for me. Like I hate the pain of being down, and you want that pain gone. And if you try to, do it quickly, usually you'll just end up with more pain because you'll just have to reset. You'll lose that account, start the process all over again, which is more pain than realizing it's actually less painful if you just dial it back a little bit. And again, that's where, I've had to go through that process and still learning, right? No, it's not like I don't know if I'll ever reach the top of Mount Everest, but, I actually have to say I'm largely up in my funded account. Probably for a long time. Well, since it's been a long time, actually, I've gone up and down on some things, and getting back to basics has really helped me a lot. So that's, I guess, my one thing. If anyone out there is, had struggled on Friday or whatever, struggled when that, Trump's announcement fired off and caught a lot of people off guard and the market just tanked, and if someone fought that, this time, luckily I was not even trading. I was watching that thing. I was already done trading. I don't know how I would have handled that, honestly. I think I showed them in the video yesterday that it did pretty well, but as we all know, sometimes we have our bias and we don't give a shit what signal is firing. Like we do what we want, right? And that's what I'm really trying to get away from, that discretionary bias thinking. That's the weird part about trading. Sometimes you're rewarded for that negative behavior. And sometimes then you're actually penalized for trading correctly. It's just a weird space, right? You can do everything right and be wrong. And then trading, you can do everything wrong and be right. And it actually that's like the worst thing for you, right? Because then it actually engrades bad habits. So trading is a weird thing. You're penalized for doing things right. But overall, when you do things right, that equity curve, smooths out and usually it's good. But you guys know all that. So I know I'm preaching to the choir, but yeah, so just want to mention the last part that just with the added cost of everything and just making this just a superior type of thing, even though my other stuff is really good, taking it to the next level, and looking for people that really I don't know, people will be grandfathered in, like people that are already with me. I'm not going to increase. But anyone new, it's just going to be a little bit more of a gatekeep because I don't need someone that comes in and just says, I want to make $50 a day. It's just not like that, right? So I know this tool will help. I know it's going to help me. And yeah, I guess, it's hard to, we all have different journeys, and know anyone that trades long enough, we all have our story. We all need our therapist as we go through and live if we survive it long enough to tell the tale. because we all, that's the fun part. We all have our own journey of it. So anyway, I'm rambling. I will see you guys on Monday. Take care.